This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Monday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this January 27th. People around the world are mourning the loss of legendary basketball player Kobe Bryant after he was killed in a helicopter crash. The latest on the investigation and how many in central Indiana are remembering the iconic athlete.
2 people are in custody in connection with a deadly shooting near a Franklin Boys and Girls Club. Our Alyssa Donovan has the latest on this murder investigation.
And a local man is putting himself up to the challenge to raise awareness for veterans' issues. How he's preparing to run 100 miles in just 24 hours. Pretty impressive. But first, before that story, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. Todd Clausen is standing by. And Todd, if people are heading out maybe for a run this morning, they'll still need to bundle up.
Yeah, you definitely have to bundle up. Temperatures are below freezing, so anytime you're below freezing, obviously, you need to have the heavier jacket, or if you're out there running, you just need to layer up just a little bit. But you're walking out to pretty dry conditions. There's a damp feel, but there's no precipitation falling from the sky, so you don't need the umbrella, you don't need the sunglasses today. Again, just have that heavier jacket as you get going, and you can grab the hat and gloves. That's always an option for you if you get cold. Very easy, but it's not the coldest morning we've seen. 28 right now in Crawfordsville, 27 is the current temperature in Bloomington, pair of 3s in Muncie, 29 from Tipton up towards the Peru area. So as we work our way throughout the course of the day today, this morning, there could be a few flurries here in northern locations, but otherwise we're just going to be stuck with these clouds really throughout the entire day. This storm system is going to bypass us to the south, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's just quiet from start to finish. Mostly cloudy skies. The clouds will hopefully thin and the skies can brighten just a little bit this afternoon, but we're never really going to get into much of any sunshine. And throughout the day today, temperatures don't move a whole lot due to the cloud cover as our high gets up to only 34 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Pretty good news on your roads. Everything is smooth sailing, as you can see. Planning out your drive. If you're heading in from the east side, a 10-minute commute from Post Road to I-65 at the North Split. If you're traveling westbound on I-70, no problems there to slow you down. So let's take a live look outside right now on the southeast side. This is our NDOT traffic camera at I-465 and Arlington Avenue. Traffic's moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. We'll continue to keep you updated.
He was an incredible athlete and a leader in a lot of ways. He inspired a whole generation of young athletes.
Athletes, celebrities, and fans around the world are mourning the shocking death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant. Authorities are not publicly confirming the victims' identities, but several news outlets have confirmed that Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter were among those in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California, Sunday afternoon. 7 others on board also died, including Orange Coast baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife, and daughter, according to the college. Witnesses say they heard the helicopter flying low and then crash into the hillside. Kobe Bryant was on his way to his daughter's basketball game when the crash happened. The NTSB is investigating and looking into maintenance records to determine the cause. Kobe Bryant's game influenced generations of fans, including those right here in central Indiana.
Pre-game, post-game, and on social media, players and coaches with ties to the Hoosier State shared their condolences and memories. Indiana University head coach Archie Miller and Boston Celtics head coach Zionsville native Brad Stevens both shared their memories of the basketball legend.
Kobe Bryant, he was a year older than me in high school. He grew up in the state of Pennsylvania. He played for my dad in the McDonald's All-American game. I mean, like, that can't be real.
My first memory of Kobe was his dad recruited my best friend in high school. And, Kobe was just a kid playing open gym with him. And he was, my best friend came back and just told me, I just played with the best 16-year-old I ever saw.
Former Pacers players also reacting on social media. Reggie Miller said, "This is piercing my soul. Prayers to the Bryant family, hard to even comprehend." Mark Jackson wrote, quote, "Hurting today, praying for the family, friends, and fans of the great Kobe Bryant. God bless." They also honored Bryant before last night's Pacer game against the Portland Trail Blazers with a 24-second shot clock violation. Kobe Bryant was only 41 years old.
And back here at home, a new overnight one-person person is dead and a security guard is in critical condition after a shooting at a West Side strip club. Police were called to the Pony on Lafayette Road around 2:30 early this morning. Officers on scene tell RTV6 a man was causing trouble inside the club and had to be removed by security. He began to drive away but circled back and began shooting at the security guard. The guard returned fire, killing the man. The security guard was hit and taken to the hospital for surgery, according to police. We are still learning more details about the incident, and we will keep you updated. Police have arrested 2 people connected to a deadly shooting that happened over the weekend in Franklin.
An 18-year-old man was shot and killed in Franklin on Saturday evening, and our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live from the Franklin Police Department this morning. Alyssa, police there are thanking the public for continuing to send in those tips about this shooting.
That's right, Lauren. So Police Chief Kirby Cochran wrote in a Facebook post early on Sunday morning that thanks to the work of both police and sheriff's offices, as well as help and tips from the community, they were able to locate a vehicle tied to this investigation. Then late last night, they updated that post saying that they had arrested 2 suspects tied to this case. Now, we know that that shooting happened around 6:30 on Saturday evening. Franklin police were called to Hurricane Street just outside the Boys and Girls Club of Franklin. They found an 18-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. That teen was pronounced dead at the scene, and his name has not been released to the public. After they released a picture of the vehicle at the scene that was found on a nearby security camera, police were able to track down that car and arrested 2 suspects. Now, one of those suspects was arrested on charges of felony murder, robbery, and other charges, and the second is in custody for assisting a criminal. Now, police tell us that suspect that was arrested on that felony murder charge is expected to face more charges, and of course, as soon as we have that information, we will report that to you. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 5:07. 3 Anderson teens have been officially charged for their alleged roles in the deadly crash that happened last weekend. 19-year-old Sophie Darlin Robbins was killed after she and 3 teens were driving in separate cars around Madison County at a high rate of speed. Police say that a rock then crashed Robbins' windshield, causing her to go off the road and roll the car several times. She was pronounced dead at the scene. 18-year-old Javion Wright, 18-year-old Alex Lozano, and 19-year-old Keandre Williams fled and were later arrested. They have each been charged with felony counts of leaving the scene of an accident.
An Indiana University associate professor is taking steps to file a lawsuit against the city of Bloomington after she was arrested for protesting a farmer's market vendor last summer. Kara Cadu recently filed a tort claim seeking compensation of at least $500,000. She was arrested on a preliminary charge of trespassing after holding a protest sign in front of a vendor's booth at the Bloomington Community Farmers Market. The vendor was alleged to have ties with a white supremacist group. Prosecutors did not charge Cadu in the incident. The farmers market was closed for 2 weeks due to public safety concerns following the protest.
At 5:08, animal rights advocates will gather at the State House today. They'll speak in support of House Bill 1200, which prohibits the private ownership of dangerous wild animals. The goal of the proposal is to protect first responders and communities from wild animals that are currently legal to keep as pets. The event is being held by the Humane Society and will run from noon until 4 this afternoon.
Also happening today, men and women who have served our country in the military are invited to speak with lawmakers about issues that are important to them. It is all for Indiana Military Veterans Legislative Day at the State House. A breakfast will start at 8:30, followed by the opportunity to visit information booths hosted by veterans organizations. Participants can meet lawmakers after lunch. Supplies for veterans experiencing homelessness will also be available.
Well, a local veteran is gearing up for a major challenge to raise money and awareness for veterans issues. Starting at midnight on February 1st, Dustin Johnson will attempt to run 100 miles in just 24 hours. The fitness store Jackrabbit helped to supply Johnson with nutritional supplies as he prepares for that big day. He says he also hopes to inspire other vets to make positive changes in their lives.
I'm hoping that veterans in our community can just, maybe see what they're capable of. That, if this guy's going out and running 100 miles, maybe I can get up today and go, walk a mile to get a little bit healthier, a little bit better, feel a little bit better about myself.
Well, Johnson is running as part of the organization Team Red, White, and Blue. The organization connects vets through physical and social activity, and good luck to him. Here at 510, let's toss things over to Todd Clausen for a check of our forecast today.
And as you walk out the door, whether you're going for a run or just hopping in your car and heading off to work here today, you're all walking out to temperatures that are on the cool side and quite a bit in the way of cloud cover out there. And with the clouds in place, temperatures are going to hold pretty steady throughout the course of your morning drive. We'll be hovering right around 29 degrees. And then honestly, throughout the entire day, these temperatures, they don't really move a whole lot. And that's due to the clouds and a northwesterly wind that'll be in place. Could be a few flurries here up northeast portion of the state this morning, but it's just a flake or two. Nothing more than that. Nothing that's going to hamper your commute. Otherwise, it's a very quiet weather pattern for us, not only today, but really throughout the entire week. So temperatures today will top off in the upper 30s from Bloomington over towards Columbus. As you work your way to the north, though, colder, about 34 in Greenwood. A high today in Kokomo of only 33 degrees. We'll talk about the rest of the week in more detail for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. After the break on Sunday, senators will be in the chambers to continue the impeachment trial. Coming up, the shakeup as former Trump advisor submits a manuscript detailing the controversial Ukraine phone call.
And Billie Eilish, Lizzo, and Lil Nas X all brought home trophies from this year's Grammy Awards. Still had more on the record-breaking results.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
As the impeachment trial resumes today, reports say an upcoming book by the president's former national security advisor, John Bolton, alleges the president personally tied Ukraine aid to the Biden investigation. The claims directly contradicting Trump's defense team's arguments. ABC's Andrew Dimber is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Democrats want one witness to testify more than any other, former National Security Advisor John Bolton. A new report by the New York Times shows just how critical to the case he may be. According to the Times, 4 weeks ago, Bolton submitted a manuscript to the White House of an unpublished book he wrote called The Room Where It Happened. The Times says Bolton detailed an August 2019 conversation with Trump, claiming the president told Bolton personally that he wanted to continue withholding military aid to the Ukraine until officials there launched investigations into Trump's rivals, including Joe Biden. ABC News has not independently reviewed the manuscript. This reported firsthand account undercuts what the president's lawyers argued in the impeachment trial over the weekend.
There is simply no evidence anywhere that President Trump ever linked security assistance to any investigations.
President Trump flatly denying the new report. I never told John Bolton that the aid to the Ukraine was tied to investigations into the Democrats, including the Bidens, and released the military aid to Ukraine without any conditions or investigations and far ahead of schedule. Democrats feel this only boosts their case for additional witnesses and documents. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pleading to some moderate Republicans on Twitter to go against party lines and vote to introduce new evidence in the trial. John Bolton has the evidence. It's up to 4 Senate Republicans to ensure John Bolton, Mick Mulvaney, and the others with direct knowledge of President Trump's actions testify in the Senate trial. Bolton has said he would testify if subpoenaed by the Senate. Meanwhile, the trial resumes this afternoon. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Well, police are still trying to figure out what led to the shooting of 9 people at a South Carolina bar over the weekend. Officials say 2 people were killed and 7 others were injured at Max Lounge early Sunday. The conditions of those injured were not released. According to the lounge's Facebook page, the bar serves as a music venue. Witnesses describe a chaotic scene as bar patrons ran for their lives. Police have not released any information on a possible suspect.
A company in Massachusetts is working to develop a vaccine for the deadly coronavirus. Biotech company Moderna is partnering with the National Institute of Health to create the vaccine. Researchers are using technology that teaches cells in the body to make proteins to fight the disease. It is the first step to figure out the right vaccine and then prove it can work in a clinical trial. So far, the deadly outbreak has killed more than 50 in China and is spreading around the world. 5 cases have been confirmed here in the U.S. Here at 517, let's take a look at what the visibility is like outside right now, Todd.
Yeah, when you walk out the door, you're probably going to look up at the street light maybe, or as you're driving, there's a little bit of a glare and you're going to think it's foggy out there. And the visibilities are reduced just a little bit, but everybody's still up above 5 miles. So as far as dense fog, you don't have to worry about that on the roadways. But you notice as you look here from downtown to the north, you can see just a little bit of that haze or fog that's out there. So just you don't have to worry about the fog that's currently across the area, but just know visibilities are just slightly reduced in some areas. 29 degrees, the winds out of the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. It's that west-northwesterly direction that's going to keep our temperatures from warming much at all. So the temperatures you walk out the door to this morning are essentially almost what we're going to deal with throughout the entire day. Maybe going up 5-6 degrees, and that's just about it. 26 in Bedford right now, 29 in Tipton, 29 as well as you make your way over into the Connorsville area, 28 in Crawfordsville. Factor in the wind, and it feels like it's in the 20s. So you definitely still need to bundle up as you make your way out and about on this Monday morning. And here is that hour-by-hour temperature trend. And you see we only go up to right around 34 degrees later on this afternoon by 4 p.m. So only 6 degrees warmer this afternoon compared to what it is right now. With the clouds in place, it's not going to be a bright day. You do not need to have the sunglasses handy. There's a few flurries this morning up near the Fort Wayne area, and that's just about it. And they're just going to fizzle away and work their way off into Ohio, not going to cause any issues whatsoever. And back to the west, there's just really not a whole lot going on to really talk about throughout the day today. So hopeful for the clouds to thin out just a little bit as we get into the afternoon hours. We're never going to get rid of them here throughout the day today. They'll just thin and the skies will start to brighten just a little bit throughout the course of the afternoon hours. Then this evening, we'll keep the clouds. Temperatures hold pretty steady. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the temperature is going to be right around 32 degrees with that overcast sky. By tomorrow noon, we're looking at a temperature of 34 degrees. Plenty of clouds, slow warming. And then as we transition into the afternoon hours, 36 degrees will be your high temperature with mostly cloudy skies. And that high of 36 is seasonable. Obviously, 36 in sunshine feels a lot better than 36 in cloud cover. And then looking ahead in this forecast, we do get back up into the 40s by the end of the week. Thursday is probably the best day of the week because it simply has the fewest clouds around and the most sunshine that we'll see. But what you do not see on our 7-day planning forecast here is any major storm systems heading our way. It's a pretty quiet week of weather as we round out the month of January into February. The best chance will be a few spotty showers possible maybe on Saturday morning, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at your commute. This is over on the west side where traffic is picking up, as you can see, at I-465 and I-74, but it's traveling smoothly. No crashes here to slow you down. So I want to plan out your drive heading in from the northwest side of town as you're heading southbound on Interstate 65. Starting off here at State Road 267, heading down to I-70. It's a 21-minute commute. That is normal. Everything is moving along just fine. So let's travel up to the north side, I-465 here in Keystone Avenue. You can see a few more headlights out that way at this hour. We'll continue to keep a close eye on those roads and keep you updated.
Multiple levels of U.S. governments are teaming up to investigate Google. Dozens of states are looking into the tech giant for potential violations of antitrust laws. Now the attorneys general might be getting help from the U.S. Justice Department. State and federal officials are set to meet next week in Washington. The focus will be on Google's search protocols, advertising, and data collection.
Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas are winning big at the Grammys last night and setting some new records. The two brought home 11 awards total. At just 18 years old, Eilish is the youngest to win Best Album, Song, Record, and New Artist. She's the first also to do so since Christopher Cross in 1981. Lizzo took home 2 wins for Best Performance, and Gary Clark Jr. got 3 Grammys for the song This Land.
This cute puppy found herself in a tough situation. After the break, what firefighters had to do to free the dog from a spare tire. We'll be right back.
Heart Association and RTV6. Welcome back. It's 5:25. Here's a live look right now at traffic on the northwest side. Traffic moving up and down I-65 near 38th Street is traveling just fine. No crashes or delays right now for your Monday morning commute.
An adorable puppy that found himself in a jam was not only rescued by firefighters, but also got a new nickname. Take a look at this. A 3-month-old puppy got its head stuck inside a spare tire in California. Firefighters responded to the call and used oil to try to get her free. When that didn't work, they had to sedate the puppy and cut the wheel enough to safely remove her. Animal service officials say the puppy is resting and is planned to be reunited with its owners. Fire crews say they don't really know how the dog got stuck, but says the puppy was probably just curious. They shared pictures on social media and gave the puppy the nickname Wheelie Pup. That is
you just wonder
one
how they get in
cute
those
dog. Yeah. Oh, well,
so
glad that all ended well.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at our weather. Not ideal dog walking weather, but it'll do.
It could be worse.
Yes.
It could be worse this time of year. Temperatures this morning are sitting just below freezing in many locations, and for your afternoon highs, we get just above freezing in most locales this afternoon. About 34 in India as well as Lafayette and Peru. Bloomington and Columbus slightly warmer, but still in the mid to upper 30s. Lots of clouds today. Lots of clouds throughout the entire work week, with temperatures just slowly starting to moderate as we head towards Friday and Saturday, when highs will get back up into the 40s. The good news is not much in the way of precipitation heading our way, giving us an opportunity here to dry out. The time now is 5:27. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Following breaking news this morning, police in Franklin arresting 2 people in connection to a deadly weekend shooting.
Our Alyssa Donovan joins us live with the latest. And the world continues to mourn the loss of NBA superstar Kobe Bryant this morning.
We're taking a look back at the father of four's life and legacy, and we're following the latest developments on the investigation into the helicopter crash that claimed his life. But first, we want to check in on what the weather is going to be like for your Monday.
Yeah, we're starting a brand new work week, hopefully a little bit warmer, Todd, than last week, but you say it's not going to be the best forecast.
You know, it's not a bright forecast. That's probably the best way to put it, but it's probably not terrible for this time of year. I mean, in January, we could be in the single digits and into the teens. That will not be the case here throughout the entire week. You need the jacket, obviously, this morning, and your outdoor workout's good to go. It's just chilly and a little damp out there. You need to bundle up, but no additional precipitation. Temperatures in and around the metro area are sitting right around 30 degrees, a little below in Greenwood at 28, a little above from Noblesville over to Pendleton at 31 degrees. It's 30 right now in Zionsville, so you just need to bundle up, and anywhere you are across central Indiana, you're generally in that ballpark with these clouds in place. A few flurries to the northeast. They won't really impact anything at all. Just don't be shocked maybe if you're traveling up Interstate 69 towards the Fort Wayne area, if you see a flurry or two. Otherwise, just lots of clouds from start to finish throughout the day today with the cloud cover. You notice the temperatures. They really don't move much at all. So what you walk out to this morning is essentially almost what you get later on this afternoon, as we only get up to right around 33 degrees. The time now is 5:31. Let's get another update on the roadways on this Monday morning.
And Todd, things are moving pretty smoothly at this hour. This is a look right now on the northwest side. Traffic's picking up a little bit on I-65 southbound here south of 38th Street heading into the downtown area, but there are no crashes to slow you down, so that is great news. Let's take a look here on the northeast side heading southbound along Interstate 69 from State Road 13 down to the I-465 ramps. It's a quick 13-minute drive, so that is normal this morning. Let's take a look up on the north side, I-465 and Keystone Avenue. Traffic looks to be moving along smoothly, picking up both eastbound and westbound. We'll continue to keep you updated on any issues for your morning commute.
The most important thing is you must put everybody on notice. I'm here to be an all-time great.
One of the greatest basketball players to ever take the court is gone. Kobe Bryant, who spent his entire 20-year professional career with the Los Angeles Lakers, died in that helicopter crash on Sunday. Their chopper crashed roughly 30 miles outside of downtown Los Angeles.
In addition to Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 other people were on board. There were no survivors. The chopper was headed to the Mamba Sports Academy in Thousand Oaks for a basketball game. Authorities have not confirmed the identities of the other victims and say recovering bodies could take days. Meanwhile, people across the country are remembering the man who changed the game of basketball.
His impact on the game and on players and coaches, everybody individually, is going to be missed and can't be replaced.
He was an incredible athlete and a leader in a lot of ways. He inspired a whole generation of young athletes.
Bryant, who scored more than 33,000 points in his career, was just 41 years old. He's survived by his wife and 3 daughters.
It is 5:33 new this morning. Police have arrested 2 people in connection to a deadly shooting that happened over the weekend. An 18-year-old man was shot and killed in Franklin Saturday evening. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning from the Franklin Police Department. Alyssa, police there want to thank the community for continuing to send in those tips about that shooting.
That's exactly right, Lauren. Police Chief Kirby Cochran put out a call on Facebook asking for community tips, and he posted last night an update on the Facebook page saying that thanks to police and sheriff's offices as well as community tips coming in, that they were able to make 2 arrests of suspects. Now, the shooting happened around 6:30 on Saturday evening. Franklin police were called to Hurricane Street just outside the Boys and Girls Club of Franklin. That's where they found an 18-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. That teen was pronounced dead at the scene, and his name has not been released yet. After releasing a picture of a vehicle at the scene from a nearby security camera, police were able to track down that car and arrested 2 suspects. One suspect was arrested on charges of felony murder, robbery, and other charges, and the second is in custody for assisting a criminal. Now, according to the FBI's crime reports database, the city of Franklin rarely has homicides to report. Most years, they don't have to report any, and on the high side, just 1 or 2. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Also new this morning, 1 person is dead after a shooting on the city's west side. Police were called to the Pony on Lafayette Road around 2:30 this morning. Officers on scene say a man was causing trouble inside the club and had to be removed by security. He began to drive away but circled back and began shooting at the security guard. The guard returned fire, killing the man. The security guard was hit and taken to the hospital for surgery, according to police. We are still working to learn more details about the incident, and we will keep you updated.
It is 5:35 in Lafayette, Indiana. A review board is scheduled to meet today to discuss a deadly police shooting. The incident happened last Monday around 2 in the afternoon. Police were called to the 23rd and State Street area on a report of a man with a gun. They say the officer shot and killed the man during negotiations to get him to surrender. That officer has been identified as Nathan Stone King, a 4.5-year vet with the department. Right now, Stone King is on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of that internal investigation. That's department policy anytime an officer uses their firearm.
Several IPS bus drivers will attend tomorrow's school board meeting in hopes of getting answers. Last week, the district announced major changes to its transportation department, putting the jobs of more than 100 drivers in question. Beginning in July, IPS will no longer operate its own transportation department. Instead, a company called First Student will operate all 305 bus routes. While the change is expected to save IPS an estimated $7 million, about 135 drivers could be out of a job. We spoke to David Robertson, the executive director of the Bus Drivers Union, who says there are now more questions than answers.
Those folks that have been in it, that have been employed with IPS transportation for years, these folks have been loyal on both ends, and to say, oh, you got to reapply, that's kind of a slap in the face to workers.
In a statement, IPS says in part, we value our employees and their loyal service and will work cooperatively with First Student to help all successful teammates find a new job within the company.
Calling all knitters, the Indiana Pacers are looking for volunteers to knit beanies to promote the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend here in Indianapolis. The beanies will be given to volunteers and hospitality employees working All-Star Weekend. They will also be given as gifts to players, coaches, and other NBA VIPs. The Pacers will hold several knit-along events throughout the year to help meet their goal of 6,000 beanies. You can find out more on how to get involved on the RTV6 app. All-Star Weekend is scheduled for February 12th through the 14th next year.
Wouldn't you just love to see the Pacers bench, you know, while they're sitting there working on the beanies, yeah, with their yarn?
Yeah,
that would be great.
A fun project. Oh, look at those guys. Fun project there. All right, Todd, what are we going to need the beanies today as we step outside?
You know, you could definitely wear it. You won't look out of place. nice if you have one on. With these temperatures where they are this morning, we're going to be sitting in the 30s here throughout the entire morning commute and into their lunch hour as well. And I mentioned the chance for a few slick spots. There's no precipitation falling from the sky, but the ground has a little sheen to it. It's shiny. It's on the damp side, and with temperatures below freezing, it's not out of the question that there could be a slick spot. I would imagine the major roads are good because they got a lot of salts over the weekend, but maybe some of those side roads, I'll just mention the chance of a slick spot for you here and there. Otherwise, this storm system stays to our south. We have lots of clouds in place across the area, and these clouds are going to be very, very stubborn throughout the day today. We are not really ever going to get rid of them, but I do think they'll thin just a little bit for maybe allowing the skies to what we'll call brighten a bit later on this afternoon, but you won't need the sunglasses, that is for sure, throughout the day today. So your planner shows the temperatures. We hold pretty steady in the 30s throughout the day today. The winds are fairly light, so while it's not the best weather day for us, it's a quiet weather day for us as you get going and start this work week. We'll talk about the rest of the week for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Another case of the deadly Wuhan coronavirus has been confirmed in the United States. Straight ahead, where that patient is located and what officials are saying about the rapid spread of the virus.
And today marks the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz concentration camp. Coming up, how victims and survivors are being honored, including special recognition for one Hoosier. The time right now is 5:39. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Here, Tropicana. Sip your sunshine.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 5:42, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic. Here's a look down in Greenwood. Good morning to you. I-65 here near Worthsville Road. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound on your interstates. No issues to slow you down. A case of the coronavirus was confirmed in Arizona on Sunday. That means there are at least now 5 cases in the United States right now. Health officials say the threat may be growing. The virus is now confirmed in about a dozen countries, including China, the United States, Australia, and France. And now there's a presumptive case in Canada.
Country, we've learned a lot since the SARS outbreak in 2003, and this has allowed our country and all levels of government to work very closely together to ensure that we are prepared.
My crystal ball says the next time the WHO committee meets, I think it is likely that they will declare this a public health emergency of international concern.
The Director General of the World Health Organization tweeted Sunday that he's heading to Beijing to find out more about the coronavirus outbreak. A market in Wuhan, China that sold wild animals is the suspected source of that outbreak.
Turning to Washington now, where the impeachment trial of President Trump will pick up today. The president's defense team is on day 2 of their opening statements, but during today's proceedings, one key figure will be missing. Impeachment manager Jerry Nadler says he'll miss part of trial due to his wife's cancer treatments. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in December. Nadler says he and his wife will meet with doctors in New York today. The House Judiciary Chair has apologized for missing part of the proceedings, saying the trial is critically important to our democracy.
People across the world are remembering Holocaust victims today. 75 years ago, the Auschwitz concentration camp was liberated. More than 1 million people were killed at that camp, nearly all of them Jews. Hundreds gathered at the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. over the weekend for a ceremony to honor Holocaust victims and survivors. Out in the Netherlands, the Dutch Prime Minister issued an apology for the government's failure to protect Jews during the Holocaust. Mark Rutte said in part, quote, "When a group of fellow countrymen were set apart by a murderous regime, shut out and dehumanized, we failed." An estimated 6 million Jewish people were killed during the Holocaust.
Here in Indiana, students across the state will honor Holocaust survivor Eva Kor. Governor Holcomb has marked the day as Eva Kor Education Day. Kor immigrated to the United States after World War II, settling in Terre Haute. She spent many years teaching people about the Holocaust and was an advocate for forgiveness. She also founded the Candles Holocaust Museum and Education Center in Terre Haute. In honor of Kor, today students across the state will be learning about the peace advocate in their classrooms. Kor died last year in July. She was 85. Here at 5:45, we want want to take a turn now and tell you about a school in Hawaii offering more than just an education. They're helping students become published authors.
That's right. At Kaiawai Elementary School, every kid gets to see their writing in print. The idea started as a summer project as a way to get more kids reading. Well, the program was so successful, the principal at that school extended this opportunity to the entire school year and to every classroom from kindergarten to 5th grade. So far, the school has published about 150 student books, and when they're finished, the school holds a publishing party and students autograph their work. The books are then sold to parents and the surrounding community as a fundraiser. Good for them. As you're heading out the door on this Monday morning, Todd, what do we need to know?
You know, you're walking out to damp conditions. We had that rain, and then we had the snow and that wintry mix over the weekend. Wasn't very heavy, but there's a very damp feel out and about this morning. And I'll mention the chance of a few slick spots out there. I don't think it's a big problem for us this morning, and it's mainly going to be on roads that were untreated over the course of the weekend. I think if they had any salt on them, they're going to be just fine. But we're dealing with temperatures below freezing and just the moisture on the roadways, and there's very little warming in this forecast as we go throughout the day today. Outside right now, the temperature sits at 28 degrees, just a light wind out of the northwesterly direction. The wind won't be all that strong throughout the day today, but the winds are going to stay out of that northwesterly direction, and that combined with the cloud cover is really going to prevent these temperatures that you see right now from warming much at all throughout the day today. 27 in Crawfordsville as well as Bloomington right now, 30 in Greenfield, 28 is the current temperature in Tipton. You factor in that little breeze and it feels like it's in the 20s across most of the area. 23 is the real field temperature in Indy, 21 is what it feels like up in Peru. So watch the temperature trend throughout the day today, and you notice at least through the morning hours we really don't budge much at all, only getting up to 31 degrees by 11 a.m. By the time we get to the noon hour, right around freezing. By 2 o'clock, we're only sitting at 33 degrees. And as we throw on the afternoon temperatures for you, our high today only gets up to 34 degrees. So it is going to be a chilly day for us, a damp day, even though those temperatures will be pretty close to where they should be for this time of year. When you don't have the sunshine and these damp conditions, it makes it feel a little bit colder. The clouds are in place across the area, showing a little clear skies on the satellite picture down there. That will fill in very, very quickly this morning. And the flurries are basically coming to an end now in northeastern portions of the state. This storm system, that is going to stay to our south, back off to the west. Nothing really going on. And that's the quiet weather pattern that we'll enjoy throughout the next couple days. So the biggest issues today and really throughout much of this week, there's just not a whole lot of sunshine heading our way. Hour by hour this afternoon, just lots of clouds. The clouds will try to thin a little bit as you see here this afternoon, and the skies may start to brighten a little bit, but I don't think the sun ever really peeks through the clouds fully throughout the day today, or really throughout the day tomorrow. Tomorrow's another mostly cloudy day with temperatures that are going to be in the mid to upper 30s. Thursday is probably the best weather day of the week, simply because it has the best opportunity for some sunshine. And as we get into Friday and Saturday and even into Sunday, temperatures do moderate as we'll get back up into the 40s and overnight lows. Even though it's going to be kind of damp and dreary throughout much of this week, those overnight lows are also staying well above the normal low of 21 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much for keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. Here is a look over on the southeast side as we're traveling on I-74 from North London Road area to the I-465 ramps. A quick 9-minute drive, so everything there on I-74 is traveling smoothly. Let's take a look up in Carmel. Good morning to you. US 31 near 116th Street. Traffic pretty quiet this morning, traveling northbound and southbound. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads, and we'll let you know if you need to reroute this Monday morning.
Tax season is officially here. The IRS begins accepting taxes today, and you may want to get in on filing early. The IRS says most refunds won't be ready until the end of February at the earliest, and that's if you file right away. If you're getting the earned income or additional child tax credits, it will take even longer. Those won't be processed until mid-February, and your refund won't be issued without those credits. Typically, it takes at least 21 days from the filing date for refunds to go through. And if you need help filing, there are a few resources you should know about. Taxpayers making less than $69,000 a year can use the IRS program called Free File. It offers free access to companies like TurboTax and H&R Block. We have more information on how to take advantage of free filing on the RTV6 app.
It is 5:50. Renters in Cincinnati will soon be able to get housing without having to pay a large security deposit up front. The city is the first in the country to adopt a renter's choice law. Under that new rule, landlords are required to offer alternatives to traditional security deposits. Renters have three choices: paying the security deposit in an installment plan over 6 months, pay a reduced security deposit no more than 50% of the first month's rent, or get rental security insurance. That option requires renters to pay an insurance company a non-refundable monthly fee instead of a deposit. The law goes into effect in April.
Coming up, we continue to look back on the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant, including the huge impact he made on a student right here in Central Indiana. We'll be right back.
For just $169 a month.
It was music's biggest night as the 61st Grammy Awards were handed out in Los Angeles. Women and rap artists made headlines, but it was not a musician that made the biggest headline. Former First Lady Michelle Obama stole the spotlight. She won her first Grammy in the spoken word category for the audio edition of her best-selling book, Becoming. She now joins her husband on the Grammy winners list. The 44th president won spoken word statues in 2006 for his recording of Dreams from My Father, and another in 2008 for The Audacity of Hope.
It is 5:54. He was a Laker for life, but Kobe Bryant attracted fans all around the world, including right here in Central Indiana. This morning, we're taking a look back at how a Ben Davis High School student made a connection with the LA Star. Back in 2017, William Pate, a Ben Davis senior, asked his U.S. government teacher how many retweets he would need to get the class excused from taking a final exam. Well, the teacher said 2 million. So Pate made a counter offer, asking if he could get his favorite player, Kobe Bryant, to retweet him instead.
I seen his name pop up, and I was like, nah, that ain't nothing. And my phone started blowing up, going crazy, and I checked it, and I seen that he mentioned me, and I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Well, not only did Bryant retweet Pate's message, he responded saying, quote, "I hope you have an A in this class." The Wayne Township superintendent thanked Bryant for responding on Twitter, writing, quote, "A great lesson in the power of social media, true teachable moment." And it was such shocking news yesterday. I think everyone is thinking back on their moments. Even a lot of people our age just said, I just grew up watching him. So
yes, a true legend lost, and I think
husband and a father.
Something that it's going to take all of us a little bit of time to wrap our heads around, and just a reminder that life can be cut short in an instant.
Yeah.
All right, we want to take a turn now. Meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by. Todd, we've had kind of a odd January when it comes to weather.
Yeah.
And now January is almost over, and now the January-like weather shows up.
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right. We started off so warm, and then we got a couple of cold days. We haven't seen much in the way of any snow, and this is the last week of January, and it's going to be a pretty seasonable week. Just not a whole lot in the way of sunshine. You notice Storm Team 6 radar pretty quiet. There were a few flurries earlier this morning, but they've basically fizzled away. But the temperatures are at or below freezing, and there is still some moisture on the roadways, so just be a little bit careful this morning for maybe an isolated slick spot. It should not be anything widespread, but today with the clouds in place, little to no sunshine. It's just going to be very chilly. It's going to be very damp. All our high temperature can do is probably just around 34 degrees, and to be completely honest with you, there's not going to be a whole lot in the way of sunshine throughout this entire week. We'll share your 7-day planning forecast coming up in the next half hour, but right now it's time to take a break. It's 5:56. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.